Imagine, if you will, that you were cryogenically frozen and put on a spaceship
I am imagining.
to be transported across the galaxy and save the human race when something went terribly wrong and scientists, without the hindrance of rules, laws, and regulations of the United States of America, or the scientific community in general, decided to go crazy and start all sorts of experiments which were immoral and to make people into super mutants or soldiers.
I imagine that quite often. That's already what I expect my future is.
Yeah, I think that's like the definition of Bioshock, right?
That is the definition of my future, at the very least. Like, that is already what's going to happen.
Because you want to be a robot, is what you're saying?
It is what will happen.
Hey guys, I'm Crypto Spook, and this is Dead Effect 2.
And this is Moriarty.
And today we are looking at this game, which was super fun and involves multiple locomotion methods, has great graphics, and I think had really good sword play, and bow play, and probably gunplay too.
This does look neat. It feels like an actual FPS.
Doesn't it? It feels like an actual interesting game, because it is.
Whoa!
I know. I think they designed the levels and they made everything scale properly to feel right in VR. Given that, there were still a couple issues I had, like the fact that every time I did not have my katana raised in front of me like a samurai, I kept clanging it off the ground.
Tang, tang.
Yeah, I'm just walking around bumping into stuff with a katana and it's going clang, clang, cling, clang. So they made these mutants and stuff, and they are super easy to just slash to bits with your sword. I really appreciated the use of this sword and had a good time just massacring everything with it. However, it gets harder because they start sending people at you with guns, and, well, bringing a knife to a gunfight is generally not something you should do.
I don't know, you get an achievement for it in CSGO.
I don't know. What's the achievement?
Bring a knife to a gunfight.
Okay, well, you usually see that after the round is over and somebody was murdered while they had their knife out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know that I would call being murdered an achievement.
I don't know. You have achieved something. You've achieved being murdered.
That's a good point. So this seems like a pretty long game, and it actually has a storyline to it. Is it weird that it has a storyline?
A little bit. Most games in VR have taken the kind of the Doom approach, the early Doom approach of why have story, nobody's going to pay attention anyways.
Now, they're not terribly wrong there, because I'm probably guilty of not paying attention to the storyline. But that doesn't mean you should preclude it. You should at least give me a reason as to why I am stuck here. And they did that here. You actually had a good reason for coming out onto this spaceship which you're stuck on, and you're like, oh man, I gotta kill everybody.
Unless they disappear.
Unless they clip through the floor multiple times in a row, and you can't kill them. Then I guess there's a reason not to. There's a progression system in here. You can level up your character. You have force skills. You have multiple different weapons you can easily transition between. You have multiple locomotions. I had a hard time finding stuff to not like about this game.
And you tried.
And I try. I always try to find at least something to complain about.
He likes to complain.
I'm a complainer, you know? I feel like that's my job.
Kind of is.
At least a little bit.
I don't know about having all this text in VR, though.
I didn't read any of it. But I'm sure there was a compelling reason for the text to be there. I will say that much. I'm sure that all these little tablets you're finding very much so further the plot of the game.
Sure, but can you read them on a VR headset?
Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely could. You could pull them up and read them real easy. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't care enough. I just wanted to see what the game was about, and I could very easily see what the game was about. And I felt like the locomotion system was really well done. Like, it wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. It gave me just the right amount of speed that I felt like I was moving through at a good pace. And the directions they give you on, what you need to do, where you need to go, were very clear. There's a stamina system, there's a mana system, and a health system. What is not to
I do like the way these screens seem to have interactivity.
like they should within VR, because this is VR, dang it!
Yeah, I think that's great. I get it in a 2D game, well, 2D, 3D, you know what I'm saying. So, like, in a game like that, a non-VR game, it makes sense to have you walk up to a thing, click a button, and then it just does its thing. But in VR, no, you should be sticking your hands on things and doing this and that. And, yeah. Though, God.
It's so ugly, right?
It's not like the model's an attractive model, but because of the way they've done it.
her hair is like Zerg. It's Zerg. It's Zerg! Or what do you call it? From
Fifth Element.
From the Fifth Element.
Yep.
Zorgon? What the heck was his name?
I thought it was Zern.
Something with a Z.
Are you going to see Valeria?
Oh yeah, that comes out soon. I would love to, but I don't get to go see a lot because my girlfriend doesn't get.
I'm gonna go see it.
It's Zorg. It's Gary Oldman played Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
Yeah, it's just Zorg.
So yes, Zorg was his name. This woman has a Zorg haircut, or she's from that South African rock band. I'm pretty sure that's that chick.
Oh, DeAntword.
If that's her name, sure.
Yeah. They actually put nipples on her.
Yes, they did.
I think that's unnecessary.
Most likely, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go see Valeria. I'm excited for it.
That's one of my absolute favorite movies ever. Every time it's on, I watch it.
Well, I'll tell you how good it is. I'll tell you whatever.
Nah, shut up. You better tell me don't tell me anything about it, because I'm going to watch it in VR in my headset. I haven't done it yet, but I've heard it's a really good experience.
I'm going to tell you what the ending is.
And I will punch you directly in the neck.
I'm going to call you and I'm going to say, guess what?
Don't you dare. So back to the game, the leveling system is really unique and interesting and not something that I've seen done in VR properly. You have I think there's two different points. You have like skill upgrade points and then level increase points. One allows you to buy new abilities and the other allows you to upgrade abilities that you already have unlocked. And this is cool. It's cool because even though I didn't try out the effects, I know that they're going to be awesome in the game. And this game supposedly also has 6 to 7 hours of playtime with the price of $19.99. There's still one thing that I haven't talked about that I disliked about this game, and that's the bow, which we're going to switch to right now. My only problem with the bow is that, one, I'm super happy. You finally gave me a bow that has a sight. Now the problem, it's so inaccurate. It's like, why did you give me this sight? I can't hit anything with it. You need a rear aperture for a sight to work properly. And with how far I pull the bow back, I can't see the string or the arrow or anything. And the reload on it is like this weird automatic bow reload system, you know?
No.
There might as well have not been a freaking sight on this bow. There's no point to having the sight on the bow. Look, if you're not going to let me use it.
You asked for a sight. They gave you a sight. You
didn't
ask for a good sight. You didn't ask for a usable sight. You said, give me a sight. And they did. What more can you ask for?
A rear aperture so that I can actually use the sight?
No. God. You just can never be happy.
I will never be happy, that's right.
Here you go. Here's a sight. Should be happy.
It doesn't work! The sight you gave me is broken! I actually was reading about this, because I had a serious problem with it. I was like, am I doing something wrong? And I read about it, and they're like, yeah, so we need to add a little, arrow notch on the back of where the arrow is, so you need to pull it back to your face, so that the string is directly in front of your eye, and then that would allow you to have a rear aperture to use in conjunction with the sight. There needs to be a little line coming off of the string so you know where you're aiming.
Nah, I just wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but it's hard to aim naturally when there's a sight that you're supposed to use,
No.
Basically, just aim like a foot further to the right than you need to, and you'll be perfectly accurate. How's that sound? Which gets more difficult the further out you get.
I like how you're like, oh, I wonder if I can adjust it. Oh, wow, that's so inaccurate.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Without a rear aperture on this, there's literally no reason to use that sight.
No, why would you? Oh my goodness.
And at that point, I was like, well, I guess I'll just stick to the sword, because I'm not hitting anything with that.
Well, so there you go. You said you couldn't find anything that you didn't like.
Yeah, that was the thing that I disliked, and I read in the discussions that they're gonna be fixing it.
Well, I don't trust anybody when they say they're going to fix something.
It's an early access game, just like every single other VR game.
I don't trust them.
I don't blame you. As I said, early access, just like every single other VR game.
You need a bow for this guy, don't you?
You do need a bow.
It's too bad you can't shoot it.
It's also too bad that I put it in the wrong hand. But it is easy to switch weapons in this game. That's good. And it's also not easy, you know, you don't often accidentally switch weapons, you know what I mean?
This feels a little like Killing Floor.
You think?
Just this.
Because of the zombies?
Just that specific zombie.
This is Dead Effect 2. It is $19.99, and it is absolutely worth every penny of that. Even in early access.
You think?
I do. I absolutely agree with that.
It looks cool to me.
It is gorgeous. This game is beautiful. The soundscape was amazing. The locomotion is perfect. We were not paid to make this video.
I don't know, the way you're saying it,
Right?
It sounds like
I know. This is one of the best VR games out so far. Especially if those people were accurate in the fact that it is a 6 to 7 hour experience that is driven by story. So I'm going to recommend you go pick this game up right now. It's $19.99, not on sale. Go get it.
If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you did like it, though, why don't you check out another one of those videos up in the corner? And as always,
We'll see you on the next one.